G'day folks, Pat Callinan here. Well, over the last 18 years of filming my television show in Australia, this is the car that I've probably been the most excited about. Actually, most definitely this is the car, and it is essentially an Aussie overland build because it mashes together some amazing American product and some pretty awesome Aussie ingenuity as well. So let me take you on a quick walk around and show you my favorite bits and the bits that just make it an amazing outback tourer. Now, it took me about 10 months to build this vehicle, but hopefully we'll just skip through it in around about 10 minutes. So we're dealing with a 3.5 litre twin turbo petrol V6, and that is the only model that you're actually able to buy from the Ford factory in Australia. But I can understand why they chose it, because it is incredibly efficient, and I'm getting diesel-like efficiency with this vehicle, even with a block of flats on the roof with the big rooftop tent. So I do really rate it. I wasn't too sure how I'd go with the petrol, but I really enjoy it. I particularly enjoy the 298 kilowatts of power that allow me to overtake road trains and things. Now, in terms of the modifications, you'll notice this gorgeous bar up front. So this is ARB's new Zenith bar. Now this one here, it is one of one. It's actually a prototype, but something very, very similar is going to launch on the market very, very soon and go right into production. But what I love about it is the fact that it's kind of that next generation of bar, provides you some protection. You can throw your lights in there, you can throw the winch in there. I've got a Warn 12,000 pound Evo winch in there. And on top of that, I've got some absolutely meaty rated recovery points there as well. I've chosen some 35 by 12.5 tires on here, and they do give it a little bit of extra height, and that height is afforded by the Outback Armour suspension. So I'm running around about a 2.5, 3-inch lift in there. I'm also running some adjustable shock absorbers there. So they are adjustable between 20 different settings. So depending how much control you want or how much comfort you want, you can choose by simply flicking the dial under there. Now, in terms of the wheels that I chose, I used a 0 offset. So they brought the wheels out a little bit, roughly around about 2 inches. And so now they're covered up by these bushwhacker flares that I grabbed from Upfitter. Moving down the vehicle, one of my favorite mods is right here. These are the AMP Research side steps, and I love them because unlike regular steel side steps, you don't tend to slide out of the car and dirty the back of your jeans with all the mud and grot that's on your side steps. So I love them, and also I love them because they come down a lot lower than normal. So I can get my 80-year-old mother in and out of a vehicle with 35-inch tires, which I find pretty damn awesome. In terms of towing, we've got a 4.5 ton towing capacity on this vehicle. So I've got the clear view mirrors inside them. They've got the factory calibrated cameras in there. So that is really handy. So everything just handles like it should, but obviously being a towing mirror, they whip all the way out and all the way back, as long as you give them a bit of a shove. Okay, inside we have some beautifully embroidered seat covers. They're from Black Duck, so they're Aussie made and fully waterproof. We've got a Sunland dash mat in there as well. And there's not too many other modifications inside there, except you will find our Red Vision screen. We've got 2 Red Vision screens in there, and that Red Vision screen shows us all sorts of different data from how much power is left in our batteries. And we can also turn pretty much everything on and off on the vehicle. And there is a lot to turn on and off. Let me show you just how much there is. Now, my hot water system is in there. So you're dealing with around about a 10-litre hot water tank. And this is from an Aussie company called OzJ. It can be run on 12 volt or 240 volt. I just run it on 12 because that's what I've really got to play with here. And it's the most efficient way to run it for my vehicle. So I've got the Bushwhacker ensuite that pops out here. I pop the shower head in there and hook the water up there. So it really is a fantastic setup. We've got the exit tracks on the side. Now the whole structure around here is a Go Rhino Overland model tub rack. So that really just holds the everything up, including the Bushwhacker rooftop tent. So it's a Bushwhacker penthouse up on top there. And it is an incredibly comfortable place to sleep, I can tell you. Integrated with that is the Bushwhacker 270-degree awning, and the awning swings right around the back and even has a hole in it so that I can climb up through the ladder that I can either mount off the back or off the side of the vehicle. Now, the rear of the vehicle and this fancy storage box here has a whole other story, and it is one of the coolest parts of the vehicle. So it's mounted on a bed slide. Everything swings all the way out, and inside there is some pretty cool stuff. So we've got our Smeg coffee machine. We have a 10-litre gin and tonic keg and a 50-litre commercial beer keg mounted up to a couple of beer taps from a company called Kegland. So wherever we are out there on the road, we can have some pretty amazing chilled beverages. Now, the upside of having that sort of a system, which you would think is probably overkill, it means that you are basically not taking any rubbish out of the bush, because you're not accumulating cans, bottles, nothing. Once you've got those full kegs, really, they just get emptied and you take them back to the brewery and swap them over, or in the case of the gin and tonic keg, you simply refill it. So it really is a pretty cool system. This whole box system was built by ORS, a company in Western Sydney, and it is completely customized with fold-out tables on both sides. We've got the Engel 60-litre fridge freezer in there as well that's been color coded to match the vehicle itself. It's actually about a 6-year-old fridge freezer from Engel, but we thought, hey, let's give it a birthday, let's give it a paint job and match the color of the rapid red F-150 that is underneath. We store our first aid kits in here. This is another Go Rhino Adventure Gear product. We put our shovel off the side, again color coded. We've got Nighthawk lights off the side there. Those Nighthawks are also dimmable as well, so you can put the different filters on them to have either white light or the orange light, but you can also turn them up and down, which is really handy in creating that beautiful campsite atmosphere. Powering the whole setup is two 200 amp hour Red Arc lithium batteries, and they're also charged by a Red Arc solar panel on the roof, which I think is around about 180 watt model. So we don't have too many problems keeping power up to this big rig. And underneath the vehicle is a 205 litre long range tank from the company Long Ranger, who are out the back of Newcastle. Wonderful tank, and it gives me around about 1500 kilometers of range. So there you go, folks. There is my quick wrap up of my F-150 Overland Aussie build.